Giovanni! Morning. I've got dinner tonight in Chiron with the Contessa, but I fancy a bit of skiing. So, could you bring the car round? Can you make sure there are no ordinary people near it? I don't want a disease. Okay.
Soon, Giovanni arrived at the boat with my car. And after he'd loaded the boot with half of what I'd need for the day, I climbed aboard and set off.
Right, what all these people are looking at is Bugatti's answer to the Augusta 109 and Gulfstream G6. It's called the Chiron, and there's no other way of saying this. It's the fastest car in the world. Obviously, it isn't the fastest car in the world right now, because I'm sort of going round the port in Saint-Tropez. But this, in fact, is the Bugatti's party piece. But think about it. This is a 1,479 horsepower, 261 mile an hour rocket ship. It is engineering taken to the max and then some. And yet I'm doing 20 miles an hour and it feels like a Golf. It's like Concorde. Anyone in the sky in the 1960s who was doing twice the speed of sound was wearing a G-suit. But on Concorde, they were doing twice the speed of sound while wearing a lounge suit, sipping from a glass of Chateau Margaux. That was the brilliance of Concorde. It was right at the edge of what was technically possible, but it felt normal. And that's what the Bugatti's doing here.
Eventually, though, I emerged from the summer-long Saint-Tropez traffic jam and joined the motorway, home turf for the Chiron and the monster that powers it. It's an 8-litre monster with 16 cylinders and enough grunt to make kilometres feel like inches.
Thought the Veyron was fairly amazing, but this has out-amazinged it. Let me give you a few of the headline statistics. The Chiron accelerates from 0 to 186 miles an hour faster than a Toyota hatchback accelerates from 0 to 60. Flat out, this will drain its fuel tank, ready, in 9 minutes. And to put that in a language the youth can understand, it's like drinking 7 shot glasses full of petrol every second. The Chiron has 10 radiators. That's more than I've got in my apartment. And then there's the water pump, which sends 200 gallons of water a minute round the engine. That could brim a bath in 12 seconds. Firemen use less powerful pumps than that.
It's not a cheap car to buy. In fact, it costs £2.5 million. And it's not cheap to run either. The tyres, for instance, cost £13,000.
The stats just go on and on and on, but all you can ever think is, bloody hell, this thing's quick.
Obviously, I can't show you how fast on a motorway because the French police have completely lost their sense of humour about speeding. So, I had to make a call.
Giovanni!
Sir,
Yeah, could you lay on a deserted airfield and, what shall I get, a BMW M4 in about 20 seconds?
Certainly, sir.
Thanks. Okay, I don't really have time to do this on my busy day, but what I'm going to do is demonstrate to you the difference between a really fast car and a Bugatti Chiron.
Drag race over. I got back on the road.
There is no doubt in my mind that this is faster than flying. It just is. I mean, if I were to be racing Hammond today in his silly helicopter, he'd still be sitting at the heliport in Saint-Tropez saying, requesting ILS, Vector, Golf, Tango, Donkey, Norway, Shirley. All completely unnecessary gibberish, just so everyone goes, ooh, aren't you clever being able to fly a helicopter? Not really.
I, on the other hand, having got no clearance at all from anyone, had turned off the motorway and into the foothills of the Alps. You might imagine that on roads like this, a mid-engine supercar would be divine. But this is no ordinary mid-engine supercar.
A McLaren 720 or a Ford GT, they would be brilliant here. But this, I'm going to be honest with you, it feels heavy. Because it is. I'm not saying it's cumbersome. I'm not saying that getting it up this mountain road is like getting a cow up a stepladder, but it's not delicate or deft or dainty.
No, the Chiron. It tackles mountain roads in a way I've never experienced before.
Imagine the tear of a newly born child. Well, this isn't like that. This is more like Vesuvius. There are no straights in a Chiron. You come out of a corner, and then you're at the next one. Pretty much immediately. Come out of a corner, wham! Slow down, wham! Oh my God, wham! Most supercars would flow up a hill like this, but this is more staccato.
Weirdly then, the best way to enjoy this car on a mountain road is to drive it much more slowly than it can actually go. Is this a bad thing? Well, not when you remember who it's been made for.
You tell a Bugatti customer that this can generate 2G in the corners, he won't care less. Tell him it's got 3K diamonds in the speakers, and he'll say, really? Only in a Russian accent. I think they've judged this to perfection.
Soon I arrived at Les Deux Alpes, where I removed my ski boot from the boot, bought another from the shop,
Merci. Ouais. À plus tard.
and went off to find a glacier.
Let's do this. It is remarkable that in this day and age I've been able to do this. Just a few hours ago, I was in the south of France, surrounded by people in their carefully designed topless swimsuits. And now I'm on an Alp doing skiing with the others of the jet set.
It took rather longer to get down the glacier than I'd expected. So when I got back to the town, I had to get my skis off and my skates on. Not that you could actually hear that I had my skates on.
The only really odd noise you get in a Chiron is the whoosh of the turbocharging system. Ready? It's actually relaxing. It sounds like small wavelets breaking on a tropical beach. Here we go. What this car is just a really nice, comfortable place to sit while it gets on with the business of smashing continents.
And that's exactly what it'd have to do if I were to be on time for my dinner date with the Contessa in Turin. Happily, I soon left France, where they rip your fingernails out if you break the speed limit, and entered Italy, where, so far as I can tell, speeding isn't really seen as a crime at all.
I was once pulled over by the police in Italy when I was driving a Lamborghini, and they told me I wasn't driving quickly enough. It's a Lamborghini. When you leave here, you drive like the wind. This is my instruction from the police. Right, it's 47 miles to Turin. I've got 45 minutes to get there, and I'm never late. I'm pathologically punctual.
By taking the police advice and driving like the wind, I made it to the outskirts of Turin with 11 minutes to go. And I had to spend one of those minutes getting changed in the bogs at a motorway service station.
Right, I have got 9 minutes to make this rendezvous. This should be interesting.
There was a film called Rendezvous, made in the 1960s, when someone tried to cross Paris in 9 minutes. Well, now it was time to put that 16-cylinder engine in race mode and make an homage to that.